There are things only cruise passengers understand, and when I start talking about them, if you cruise, you'll understand. Let's start with the addiction of cruising. Now, if you cruise like I did 34, it's obviously not an addiction, but it's something that I enjoy. And if you cruise a lot, you'll be around people that are the same. The one thing we joke about is you can't get off the ship unless you have other cruises booked, right? Too hard to leave. The withdrawal is, you need to always have the next ones booked, no matter how far out, and that'll be the topic of conversation, right? What's next? Where are you going next? And then it's, have you been there? So, and if you cruise a lot, you'll understand that, right? If you go to the pool or the hot tub, that the conversation's going to be about cruising, right? If you're in the tender boats, it's going to be about cruising. So that's what you have to understand is the topic's going to be cruising. So, what's your favorite cruise? What's your favorite place you've been? Have you tried this cruise line? Those are all things that are going to be discussed. So be prepared for that. And if you're new, then, you be the one asking the questions, and if have you been to Africa? If I'm going to be going somewhere, then my question's going to be, and then if they have, what's some tips, right? Don't just ask for the sake of asking, ask to get some advice and some pointers. It can save you a lot of hassle. Another one is, it's a vitamin C day, and that's vitamin then spelled SEA. So you're getting your vitamin C, and so you're going to enjoy your C day, get lots of sun, get lots of relaxation. So that's one that if you cruise, you understand, and I love that one. I posted a lot in my videos and on my Facebook, things like that, right? Vitamin C day, get my vitamin C, get my vitamins. Only cruisers understand why some of us like inside cabins. Some people need to have the balcony, do that, and how could you ever be in the inside cabin? And we're all different. So for me, I find it to be quieter and dark, helps me to sleep. So and the price point. So all of those things combined is, why I'm in the inside cabin. I've had balcony, I've had ocean view window. I've never done a suite, but I've never done not never. I've been in a 5-star resort, but only in countries where it's affordable. I've not been in a Conrad Hilton in downtown Los Angeles, things like that. So cruisers understand. I've run into people and you can see by their cards, their key cards, that by the color of them, if they're in suites on NCL, I think it's purple, and then gold is Haven. But I don't see many Haven people. I think they get Oregon. They come and go through different ways. But I'll run into people with the suites, and only cruisers can understand that they cruise less now because they don't want to go back from not having the suite. They like the room of the suite and the butler and just everything that goes with it, the lifestyle and the view. Some of the best, from the back of the ship and the front of the ship, a lot of that is reserved for suites and the top price points. So yeah, but now I'm glad I stayed on the inside. I didn't get spoiled like that. Same reason I didn't fly business class or first class, just fly economy so that I can fly more and I can cruise more. So that's something you have to understand if you cruise a lot. Cruise friendship. For me, I'm a solo. So my friendships will mostly be with crew. I'll see the same, and I eat pretty much at the buffet 2-3 times a day. So my friendships on a cruise ship will be a lot of times just with the washy and the waiters if they're around in the same area. I usually sit in the same area all the time, so that's how my friendships will be. Sometimes if I'm on tours and I see the same people a lot, then I was talking to people from Michigan yesterday. So you spark up friendships. I don't have, ones that they can follow me on YouTube kind of thing. That's as friendly as I've gotten, but that's just kind of how I'm built. I'm more of a lone wolf. But I know people that have gone to solo meetups. They've come solo on a cruise ship, met other solo people, and then they've gone on cruises, not staying in the same cabin, but on the same cruises in future, and now they have a travel buddy. So I've seen lots of that happen, and I think that's fabulous, right? If you're on a cruise ship, you're with people who enjoy cruising. Unless it's their first one, then you got to see if they like it or not. But if they're like me and they're on 15th or their 20th or their 25th cruise, then they're cruisers, and so you're with your people. Easy to be friends with, especially those that are easygoing and laid back, just enjoying the experience, not rushing things. Cruise passengers understand the sea day. Get up a little later, don't hurry, get by the pool, go for a massage, just take it easy, right? If you cruise a lot, a sea day is recharge your battery day because the next port's coming. A lot of times on these cruises, you're going to do 10 days will be 7-8 days of ports. So when you get a sea day and you cruise a lot, you'll understand that it's a time to rest, do naps, lay by the pool, fall asleep, read a book, just chill. Take it easy, maybe drink a lot, do whatever you want, go to a show. Usually the best entertainment is on a sea day, so that's a day the theater is going to be packed, and get there early. Things that people cruise a lot understand is get to the theater early if you want to get seat. The doors are I've been on cruise ships where you got to pre-book, right? So popular, which is crazy, but that's how some of them run it. But NCL is pretty much first come, first serve, so doors are going to open a half hour before the show. Shows used to be 7 and 9, and on this one they moved it to 6:30 and 8:30. Not sure what's with that, but anyways, is what it is. So I'll be at the theater at 6 for the 6:30 show. I'll be there when the doors open, make sure I get a good seat. I used to sit on an aisle, and then I found that getting up and sitting down is a drag, so and I'm in no hurry to leave after the show, so I just get in the middle and relax, and it's a good seat because I'm in the middle, so that's how I do it. And if you cruise a lot, you'll understand that. The other thing you can understand about the theater is the balconies. Sometimes they're reserved for certain people or whatever, but once the time's up, a lot of times they just open it up and anybody can go. But always clarify that, those rules can change, but that's how I found it to be is, they're not going to have people not be able to watch the show and have empty seats. So, they're going to let people in and sit where they want, so far anyways. Traditions only cruisers understand is duck hunting. Hide ducks, find ducks. I really enjoy it. The new thing now, too, is a lot of these hide the keychain ducks. It's a lot cheaper and a lot smaller to have to pack, and it's a lot of fun. I found this keychain one, and they even tagged it, so that's a good find. And I just, I can hang it when I get home. I'll put it on something. I'm on the ship now, and it's St. Paddy's Day, and I found these two little St. Patrick's Day, St. Paddy Day ducks. So pretty cool, eh? Pretty fun. And those gotta have pretty good eyes to find those. So I get my exercise doing it. I hide them, but I'm also looking. So luckily I'm not so old that I hide them and then find my own and I'm happy. Hopefully that joke doesn't go over too rough. But I walk an hour a day at least on the ship, so I do it while I'm duck hunting, and if I find a duck, that's a bonus, and if I don't, hey, I got my exercise in, so I win either way. Sometimes I'm a double winner if I find a duck. Things that only cruise people understand is people walking the ship. Some people will be like, I wonder why they're not walking outside on the track and they're getting the fresh air. Well, for me, I'm not out there because it's hot. The ship is air conditioned, and like when I go to the gym, I prefer an air conditioned gym, and when I go do my exercise on the ship, I prefer it to be walking in the air conditioning. A lot of people do. I'll see people in the morning doing the same kind of deck 7 through the atrium, around down through the lounges and back, and just circle, and then I hit the stairs, go up to 6 casino, 6 up to 8 restaurants, things like that. Things that only cruisers can understand. Fine dining. Why would you do that if you get free? Well, you do that because the food is an upgrade, right? And you can dress better, you can be on your date, things like that. So it's a different ambiance, and it's still good. If you have the budget for it, I recommend trying it, see if you like it. The other one is, why would somebody eat at the buffet all the time? I'm one of those. I eat at the buffet a lot, mainly because I'm solo most of the time, so I don't really like to sit in the main dining room by myself, kind of stand out a bit. I don't like that. A lot of people at the buffet, it's not, you'll see a lot of people sitting by themselves, so I fit in better there. And I like the choice of food better. It's a set menu at the main dining, which is free. Same with, there'll always be a 24/7 restaurant open, but it's a set menu, so you don't have choices. In the buffet, I go when it's open and it has 12 different choices, so always find something that I like. So yeah, that's the things that only people that cruise a lot will understand. And for me, the biggest one is the addiction. I see a lot of things like posts, and one will be something like, don't talk to me about maybe where we should go because I'll book you a flight and a cruise within a matter of minutes. Things like that, those kind of jokes, How do I deal with a bad Monday? I book a cruise. Things, crazy. Always something to look forward to. My cruise is only, 438 days away. So the addiction of cruising, it's a real thing. For me, I just wanted to see everything once. I'm on my 33rd cruise. I got one more planned, and then 34 is done, and I saw the whole world. But if the cruise ship went there, the big ships, not the little explorer ships, but the, ones with 1,500 or more passengers, if it goes there, I've been there. So I just wanted to see it once, and I did. I'm happy with that.